Go live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the playoff-bound New York Giants are 16-0, are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. You're welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time watching and replay of this, once again, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Put it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5-10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say in there, I always try to respond to it. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it. So please fire away. Feel free. Just throw it in the chat box. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box is a top link. It takes you to like my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. And what it is each loyalty badge is associated with like a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet next to your name, that means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's also emojis. As of right now, there's 4 emojis. Okay. Eventually, there'll be a 5th one coming out, but as of right now, there's 4 of them. You can use them in the chat box, or if you're going to put a comment in there or something like that. I had them made up on Fiverr. They crack me up every time I look at them. They're pretty cool. But, so each one's got their own little perks to them and everything like that. So if you want to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, okay, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I put out, I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Right now, I got 5,377 subscribers. What the hell I start the day with? 5,359. So I've gone up about 18 subscribers so far today. Do kind of notice that like after the season's over with, the amount of subscribers I get every day kind of goes down a little bit, but it is what it is. But I mean, about like 2 weeks or so ago, I hit the 5,000 subscriber mark, which was absolutely phenomenal. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I actually have 5,000 people subscribing to my channel. It's absolutely wonderful. Once again, thank you so much. So please go down below if you're not a subscriber of my channel, and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Right. And then finally, okay, also in the description box below, okay, there's 2 additional links, 2 Facebook links. Okay. The top one takes you to the group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very original. The YouTube channel I got, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, all the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Okay. In the group, we have over 2,100 members. Okay. I just put, I every day, I try to put like at least like 10 things or so in there every day, whether it's a video, asking a question about something, just an old time picture. Like I put one up there recently of Craig Morton in, it was the first game ever played in Giant Stadium where they wound up playing against the Cowboys and they lost. Shocker, I know. But, or whether it's, like a post, some different type of post or something like that. So there's always at least 10 different things going in there every day. And the nice thing about it, if you become a member, right, the members post stuff in there as well, too. So not only do I put stuff in there, the members put stuff in there. So there's a ton of stuff going in there every day. And then the other link, okay, which is right underneath that, takes you to a page. Okay, it's a Facebook page that I have. I'm the administrator. Okay, so I'm the only one basically that puts anything in there. It's called the New York Giants. It's a page, though, okay? It's all devoted, once again, to the New York Giants information. As of right now, we have 577 people who like it. There's over 2,100 people are following it. So there's over 2,100 followers in the page and over 2,100 members in the group. And it's the same thing in the page. Every day I try to put at least 10 different items in there every day. Right. So between the page and the group, okay, a lot of stuff I've been putting in there lately has been picking on the Cowboys. It's pretty cool. But I mean, between the page and the group, there's at least 20 different, between, I said, videos and pictures and posts, and it's just stats and stuff like that every day. All right. So, go to the page and like and follow it, and go to the group and become a member. And between the two, you'll get a ton of New York Giants information every day. And if you're not satisfied, as I always say, you get your money back guaranteed. So all that stuff out of the way. Now the Giants. Yeah. Oh, Ronnie, hello. Cold's North Pole. How are you doing? I'll tell you what, the wind, man, the wind is a killer out there. It's unbelievable. I seen on one of the Philadelphia stations, somebody put a picture up in Facebook. He said on top of Mount Washington, which is up in I don't know if it's Vermont or New Hampshire or Maine or somewhere up there, but it's supposed to be like minus 45 degrees. It's supposed to be winds. I've been up there before. The winds are very, very, very windy on top of Mount Washington. And I was up there before, and it was freaking windy. But they said there's supposed to be winds of like 100 miles an hour up there. They said the wind chill is supposed to be 106 degrees below zero with the wind chill factor on top of Mount Washington, I guess tonight. I mean, I could 106 degrees below zero. Wow. It's cold enough, but I mean that I was outside, from when I go outside about 4 o'clock, from like 4 to 9, I was outside running around. And I'll tell you what, it is windy. Let me tell you what, I got to walk my son's dog tonight, boy. I'll tell you what, I'm going to bundle up big time tonight. It has to be the coldest day of the year so far, of the winter so far, without question, especially with the wind. Minus 34 degrees in Maine. Okay, Maine. Maybe that's where Mount Washington. I was there when I was like 5 years old or 6, 7 years old. I was there like about 50 years ago. I went to Mount Washington with my grandmother, and I just couldn't remember. I knew it was in New England someplace, but maybe it's in Maine. Maybe it's in Maine then. But yeah, I remember going there. I just remember how windy it was. It was unbelievably how windy it was. Freaking, it was amazing how cold it was. Yeah, well, it's it's wintertime. What are you gonna do, right? But with the Giants, I mean, I seen like, I would just want to go over like what positional groups, do they kind of maybe need, to target in free agency and in the draft. The thing is, like with the free agency, like, because if you go out and, the thing in free, I always thought it would be like a little different, right? In the draft, I always kind of think the draft would be first, and then you do free agency, right? Because you draft, you go in and you maybe take the best guy available in the draft, and you at a position you need, right? Okay, we need a wide receiver, we need a guard, and then in free agency, right? Okay, this is the team we got. We drafted these. I'm believing the Giants should be 11 guys. Okay, we got these other guys coming off of, injured reserve. We just drafted these guys. This is what our roster looks like. Okay, where do we need to plug and play a couple guys at free agency? Okay, well, let's see. We could use another wide receiver at free agency, and the thing is, like you go out in free agency and you bring some guys in. Okay, you want to take the best player available in the draft. Well, I mean, what if like the best player available is like a center, and you just got a center in free agency. Or what, I mean, what if the best player is a guard and you just got to, or what if the best player in the draft is I'm just saying like a running back and you just in free agency re-sign Saquon Barkley or something like, I always thought that was backwards to me. I mean, I'm a, I'm a silly guy, but I always thought the draft should be first. You go out there, maybe you draft the best guys available, and then with free agency, okay, with the draft, we have our team. Now we drafted a bunch of guys, and what do we need to sprinkle in one or two free agents to fill the roster. I always thought it was a little bit backwards. But I mean, obviously, free agency is a little bit more than a month away. Today's the 3rd, soon to be the 4th. I mean, you got like a little. Like 5 weeks, so whatever, a little over 5 weeks until free agency starts. I mean, it ain't long. I mean, it's not long at all before free, and then you figure right after that, like another month after that, and month and a half after that is the draft, and guys, we're off and frickin' running once again. But I mean, the Giants got a lot of free agents. I mean, it's not like I'm saying anything new here. It's the same thing pretty much every year. And every team is pretty much the same way. But I mean, where are there any, I don't know, to me, it's almost kind of like what target area the Giants maybe don't need. Because you got to look at, we don't even have our quarterback situation yet. Right? I mean, we haven't even signed Daniel Jones yet, right? It's backwards. Keep the guys they have, then plug in guys from the draft. I always thought it was just, maybe you try to re-sign your free agents that you want to keep on the team, like maybe Julian Love. Are you going to work it out with Saquon? Are you going to franchise tag him? Are you going, what are we doing with Daniel Jones? Are we going to try to bring Sterling Shepard back, Slayton? Try to maybe re-sign your guys, right? Okay, so after you re-sign your players or whatever ones you're going to try to re-sign, okay, we got these 40 guys, just throwing a number out there. Okay, we need X amount more to fill out a roster. Okay, so in the draft, okay, now we got 11 draft picks. Okay, maybe you take the best players available, right? So you get 11 draft picks, right? Because I think the Giants got 9. I'm hearing they're supposed to have 2 compensatory picks, which will put them up to 11. Okay. So you get your 11 draft picks. Okay. Now we got all of these guys. Okay. Now it's time for free agency. Okay. All right. So we got our guys. We just drafted all these guys. Little free agency. Let's see. Who do we want to pick up in free agency? We just need like 3 guys. Maybe we need maybe a little, defensive lineman, maybe another edge rusher, and maybe another wide receiver. So we'll go try to get 3 guys. I always thought it was a little weird. Because you're going to go out and spend big bucks on a free agent. Well, like a free agent middle linebacker. Just say, all right. And then we were talking about, Ronnie, the last night, I think it was. What if that Simpson dude is there from Clemson? Right? Do you want to go out and sign the guy from, was it Edmonds from Buffalo? I don't know, 18 a year, 17, just throwing a number out there. I don't even know what it would be. 15 a year. You want to sign him, and then all of a sudden the draft rolls around and the dude from Clemson's available. And you got, well, he's the best player available, but we can't draft him because we just picked up a free agent. So let's go for the second best player. So I always thought it was a little bit backwards. I was kind of hoping that they, but it is what it is, But what the Giants, there's really a spot. I don't know. The Giants, Breida is a free agent. Are we going to bring him back? Are we going to be able to sign Saquon? Right? Who knows? We got Brightwell, right? So between the draft and maybe free agency, the Giants might need 2 guys. The running backs are a dime. I don't want to say they're that a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of running backs out there that you can get in the draft or free agency. But the Giants got a lot of questions like everywhere, right? And I said, then you go to quarterback. Okay. You could probably pretty much bet, feel pretty comfortable the Giants are going to do everything they can to get Daniel Jones back in here, right? Okay, so hopefully solidify that. Okay, the thing is like, what do they want to do? I mean, because Tyrod got Tyrod for one more year, right? If Davis Webb, you keep kind of hearing maybe he's going to go into maybe become a coach, maybe, the Giants might want to go into the draft and pick somebody that they can, maybe later on, maybe somebody in the 4th round, 5th round, whatever, and, put on, on the squad and try to, use as a backup, right? Because if they got to let Tyrod go after this year, right? The Giants, if they don't have Davis Webb and they don't have Tyrod after this year, the Giants are going to need a quarterback, right? Yeah, center. Yeah, we need a center. I mean, well, that's the thing. Because now we got Feliciano and we got Gates. They both can play center. Are we going to sign any of them? We're going to let them both go. If we let them both go, we got to hold center. I mean, you need a backup, but so you think you need a good, a good solid center, right? But then, like kind of like saying like when the draft rolls around, what happens like in free agency? We pick up a center. We keep Feliciano. We pick up a center. Then in the draft, the best player available winds up being a center. Well, we don't need him. We just got a center in free agency. So, but I mean, they need they could quarterback. I mean, running back, tight end. Are we going to want to go into the future with just Bellinger? We had Bennett, Myrick, Hudson. We need something. We can use somebody else. There's some good tight ends early on. I mean, I saw a mock draft. I mean, mock drafts. Everybody's got a mock draft, but somebody had Mayer. I believe that's but the guy from Notre Dame reaching the Giants somehow at number 25. I don't think that's happening, but this guy's really good. But I mean, what happens if he shows? Right? The Giants could really use another tight end / weapon, right? We need all the weapons we can get. But do we want to have Bellinger as our top guy and then just try to get some other guys just below him? Or, we can always use to upgrade, because Bellinger might be a decent blocker and all and everything, good hands, but he's not a Kelsey, he's not a Kittle, So, we can use to upgrade the tight end position. I said we draft an early round tight end, take some pressure off our running game, wide receiver. Well, yeah. Peterson does a very good job. That's why Evan Ingram had a very good year this year. Peterson, when he was with the Eagles, or especially this year with Jacksonville, he incorporates the tight ends in there, right? He's like one of the quarterbacks have their best friends, like dumping it off to a running back. But something short, where the tight ends, get a tight end, they can get themselves open, right? Incorporate the tight ends a lot. That takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback quite a bit. Yeah, I'm saying that's something the Giants certainly could look to upgrade, would be a tight end position. I said Daniel Bellinger's a very nice tight end, but is that the cream of the crop? Is that what you want to ride off into the sunset with, Bellinger and a bunch of guys below him? I think we can certainly try to upgrade that position too. A lot of times where you wind up getting maybe, 2 tight ends on the field, maybe Saquon, the running back in the backfield, whether it's Saquon or whatever, 2 tight ends, maybe 2 wide receivers, right? There's nothing wrong with having, a couple tight ends out there, especially if one of them can, is good at catching passes and running routes. Weapon to tear down the middle. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, sure. Shockey was really, I remember Jeremy Shockey. He was a mismatch. He was tough. He would go down the middle and all of that. It was very tough to keep somebody on him. Very, very tough. He was a mismatch. He had every now and then he had a drop. Ooh, he had a couple of, but for the most part, he had some really good hands. And he would go down. He would either go up and get, and he took a lot of shots too. He took a lot of shots. He was a tough SOB. He got hurt quite a bit too. A lot of it because he played tough. But yeah, Shockey was very, very good going down the middle. Oh yeah. But I mean, so the tight end position, we could certainly upgrade there. There's like almost nowhere except for maybe tackle, unless we want to get some depth behind tackle. But I mean, the wide receiver position. I mean, I saw what do we have? I'm trying to think here. We have Hodgins, Colin Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson. Who the frick is the other guy? Come on. Oh, Kenny Golladay until he's gone. Okay. We got 4 guys on the roster, and one of them we're going to let go probably after June 1st. So we have like 3 wide receivers. There's a bunch of other, there's Slayton, Marcus Johnson, Slayton, Johnson, Shepard, Richie James, so there's other guys we could try to bring back, and a lot of them would wind up being on the cheap. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they want to bring Sterling Shepard back. But he would be on the cheap. I don't know, want to bring Richie James back, but I'm sure he wouldn't be very expensive either. Darius Slayton, he might want to maybe try to test the waters someplace and get some nice money for himself. But I mean, the Giants only got 4 wide receivers, and I said one of them's gone. I mean, you can forget about Kenny Golladay, right? So I mean, we got Colin Johnson who's coming off an injury. Okay. Then we got Wan'Dale Robinson who's coming off an injury, right? So, I mean, we don't have and we got Isaiah Hodgins who wound up being one of the biggest, nicest surprises of this whole off season. I mean, he's not going to be a number 1, but the dude's got some good hands. He understands the Dable system, the Dable thinking, all that. He seems like he has it kind of working things out pretty well with Daniel Jones. And if there's a point in time when we get a couple other weapons out there, take the pressure off Isaiah Hodgins, it's going to open the field up for him. I mean, because you'll notice in that the playoff game, right? Darius Slayton and Hodgins, 2 catches. This is pretty sad, but I can put my fingers up there for the amount of yards the receivers got. There you go. 7 yards, 2 catches, 7 yards between the 2 of them. Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodgins, if I remember correctly. I think each one had a catch. One was for, I think, 4 yards, and the other guy caught for 3 yards. You ain't beating Jack MFing nobody with your main wide receivers. 2 catches, 7 yards. The Eagles had good. But obviously the pressure, so you can't stand in the pocket long to try to wait for guys to get open. I get all of that and everything, but the good Bradbury, right? And Bradbury had the interception, but Bradbury and Slay shut him down, right? Right. So, I mean, if you can get somebody out there who can take the top off the defense, scare the crap out of somebody, maybe somebody else, right? That's going to open stuff up for Wan'Dale Robinson, maybe a Bellinger, Isaiah Hodgins. It's going to make things even better. It's going to make the running game better. Going to make, if we get Saquon back, we're going to make the running game better for whoever, right? Because now they got to be like, oh, crap, they got these 2 guys on the field, these 2 wide receivers. Oh, we can't load the box, or we can't, if we go one-on-one with these 2 guys, we could be asking to get burned, so. So if we get some weapons in there, right, that's going to make Isaiah Hodgins look even better. But, I mean, Isaiah Hodgins, I'll tell you what, the guy can stay healthy. We find ourselves a little diamond in the rough there. But, I mean, the Giants can certainly, without question, upgrade the wide receiver position. So far, the Giants regime, Shane and Dable like to draft. Oh, yeah. Disciplined players. They're also like team captains as well, too. Hopefully players that can utilize different levels. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this year they draft guys. I don't want to be making fun of nobody. Hopefully they can draft some guys that can stay healthy. I mean, and I get it. It is what it is, and injuries happen and all that stuff. The injuries. Oh my God. I mean, because we drafted 11 guys, 5 of them went up on season ending IR. And 2 of them are the offensive linemen, right? Wan'Dale Robinson, DJ Davidson, right? You got Zudu, right? McKeithen, and unfortunately Beavers. I mean, I was dying to really see. I mean, it was a good. I was hearing like he was a good chance. He was going to probably wind up being one of the starting inside linebacker, or one of the inside linebackers or whatever. So hopefully he comes back. The nice thing about Beavers getting injured early is that he has a good chance of being able to come back and being able to rock and roll hopefully by the season starts. So let's hope there. All right. But I mean, and then on the offensive line, I mean, with the tackles, that's about, honest to goodness, that's pretty much the only position I can see the Giants, maybe get some depth, right? If you want to bring some guys in at depth, but at guard, we got Bredesen's coming back, Shane Lemieux's coming back. Zulu McKeithen, right? So we're gonna have some guys at guard. Okay, I don't know what we're doing with Feliciano, what they're gonna do with Gates, right? But I mean, we have some players coming, but I mean, everyone. Let's see. Well, even Bredesen missed some time. Bredesen missed time, a little bit of time this year, but he missed a bunch of time last year where he had an injured hand. So Bredesen's missed some time, but I mean, all the guards we got coming back last year, all hard. I mean, if you want to look at Lemieux, I mean, the guy came a step. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of him, but I'd love to see the guy play. Would love to see it. Yeah, but the guy came a step on the field without popping his ACL or something. It's unbelievable. And I said, in Azudu, he played a little bit, but then he missed most of a lot of the season. McKeithen, I mean, we got guards coming back. We got some players at guard, but I mean, they're all coming off injury, right? So I mean, that's something the Giants can look to do. I mean, do they have guys right now? I think they wouldn't mind, and obviously they have Glowinski. So I think going into this year, I think the Giants may be a guard. I don't know if they want to plan on keeping Brett, because when Bredesen was in there, he did a decent job. I don't know if they want to plan on keeping him long term, or like when Azudu if he's ever healthy, are they going to put him maybe in a left guard? Right. We got Glowinski for 2 more years. I think they can get out after this coming year, so they can have him, I think, for at least 1 more year, and they can have him for 2 more years, but they want to get out after this 1 year, right? So, I mean, the guards, they got a lot of guards. They do have a lot of guards. Just the problem is, we got Glowinski for like at least 1 more year, and then some of the other guards, they're all injured, right? Center. I mean, oh my God, center. I said, what are we doing with Gates? What are we doing with Feliciano? Other than that, if we don't bring it, I mean, as of right now, we really don't have a center, right? Do we have somebody we can throw in there? I'm sure we do, because we, obviously, you don't go into a game without like emergency centers and all this stuff and everything. But I mean, the 2 centers we had with Feliciano and Gates, they're both free agents. The nice thing, if we're going to bring them back, they're not going to require a lot of money. So that's good. I would love to see the Giants get like a true center. I mean, a true center would be really, really nice. I mean, one of the worst things, like you always like with Tom Brady, I remember Tom Brady hated, of course, like almost any quarterback, obviously, pressure up the middle, right? Can you get get the ball snapped to you without the middle of the line caving in on you, right? It's, I mean, my God, I freaking hate the Eagles, but man, I would love to have Kelsey. Oh, man. Lane Johnson. Oh, I mean, I'm glad we got Neal and all that, but Lane Johnson, the right tackle for the Eagles. But I mean, like with Kelsey, right? I would love to get a true center, somebody that can play center, right? I mean, we've had some so centers over recently. I mean, go back to O'Hara, right? The Super Bowl years and all. Well, he only had 1 Super Bowl. I think he was out in 2011. I don't think Sean O'Hara was there, but Sean O'Hara was with the Giants for a while. I mean, we have some good center there. When they go back into the Bart Oates was the only offensive lineman, I think, if I can remember, who was on the same offensive lines in 86 and 90. Bart Oates, the center. right? I think the other linemen from 86 and the other linemen from 90, I think they were all different, but I think Bart Oates was the only starting center we had. And Bart Oates was a very good center as well. Get a center, somebody, I guess, I don't know, maybe positional value. They don't put a lot of positional values on guys, on centers. I don't know. But they're like the cheapest, guards cost more, I believe. I mean, certainly tackles do. I mean, like almost any position out there, except for maybe a punter, I guess. So centers are like the cheapest. But I mean, hey, get a center. Whether in free agency or, I mean, there's a couple in the draft, couple good ones in the draft. So I'm interested to see where Shane wants to go there. I mean, does he want to try to get the wide receivers, or does he want to try to build up the trenches? Now, if we go to the defensive side, you can never have too many edge rushers. Never have too many edge rushers. I know that Shane and Dable wanted to get some contract talks out of the way. Barkley may not agree to the franchise. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's one of those tricky kind of things, because if you put the franchise tag on him, that could kind of, I don't know, unsettle the locker room or something, because, the tag is on Saquon and you don't want to be on the tag. And then maybe he wants to be traded, or maybe you're just putting a tag on him so you could trade him and maybe get a third or fourth round for him, so maybe you're just trying to, tag him so you can, he's not going to, he's not going to be there, right? He don't want to be there, and, you're just trying to get rid of him, and everybody in the locker room kind of knows that and feels that and all, so I don't know if they're going to want to do that, especially if you may not want to play on the franchise tag. But some teams do that, franchise tag them and then just either play on the franchise tag or you don't play, I guess you don't get paid, or, if you don't want, okay, we'll just try to trade you too. But as of right now, we're on the franchise tag. So that's some, if you're going to do that with somebody, I mean, if, anybody like other than like a Saquon or something like that, because Saquon is, he's the face of the locker room and all, he's been a true champion for the team, whether he's been injured or not, for the past 5 years. So I don't know if that's something they want to do with Saquon, right? Let's see, Shane. Oh, Dable. Yeah, he spelled it. Yeah, I spell it wrong too. So, but I know. They're trying to get, obviously they're going to try to get Daniel Jones, Barkley. I mean, trying to get maybe some of these bigger guys, I guess, signed first. But I mean, you got like Julian Love. What are you going to do there? If you're not going to sign, I mean, do you have Dane Belton back there? Do you feel comfortable with Belton back there? And Xavier McKinney, if you're not going to re-sign Julian Love, right? We're going to bring anybody back, any of the other free agents. I mean, let me see. Who do we got here? Was it Julian Love or Jefferson? That's what it was. Yeah, you're going to bring Jefferson back, right? Because you got Jefferson and Julian Love are free agents, so you're going to try to bring them back. If not, are you comfortable with Xavier McKinney and Dane Belton back there? But then if you let Jefferson and Love go and you're going to Belton and McKinney, okay. Because once McKinney wants to get paid, you're going to pay like Julian Love $8 or $9 million, just throwing a number out there. And then you're going to pay McKinney like 15. You're going to pay like $25 million between your two safeties. I don't know if that's it. They have their own numbers and all of that. Their values to each position and everything like that. And that might be too much for the safety position. They don't want to spend $25 million for two safeties. I don't know. So, but if they let Jefferson go and Love go, well, you got to, do you want to just pluck two safeties off of practice squads for other teams and hope and pray they work out? Or do you want to start, you might want to have to draft a safety or two, or get a free agent safety, maybe a safety in the draft, right? Cornerbacks. How long are we going to keep Adoree Jackson, right? I mean, I hope we do. He's still young and all. But, we only have him. I think we only signed him for like 3 years, right? This could be his last year coming up, right? So what are we going to do with him, right? The thing is that we have Aaron Robinson, who a lot of people are kind of high on, but guy can never stay healthy. Can he be a true one now? Right? I mean, a lot of people maybe want to put him in the inside on the slot. Some people think he might be best outside. right? But I mean, how long are we going to re-sign Adoree Jackson? We do wind up re-signing Adoree Jackson. I mean, he's going to cost some money, right? So I mean, we can certainly use some extra help. I mean, we have Darius Williams and Aaron Robinson. It's a tough position. I get it. Cornerback, it's you got to come up and support the run. I get it. You're 200 pounds and you're going up against a 300-pound offensive lineman and you're coming up and you're trying to make a tackle. I get it's a tough position. Very, very tough. But I mean, the Giants can certainly look to upgrade, the cornerback position. I mean, look, just think about how good we could have been last year if we still were able to keep Bradbury and Adoree Jackson. We had our two, right? We had our two cornerbacks, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Eagles are so tough. I mean, amongst many, the Eagles have a lot of things going for them. But I mean, on their defense, I mean, they got two really good cornerbacks, right? Inside linebackers. Oh my God. We need some help there. I mean, Micah McFadden, he played okay, right? There was nothing outstanding. I mean, we need to upgrade there big time. Davis, are we bringing him back? I guess Jalen Smith. That's a very weak group. Very, very weak group. Hopefully we'll be getting Beavers back. Okay. So we'll have McFadden and Beavers. Okay. But I mean, we certainly could use somebody else without question. I mean, because that position was very, very weak. Then we go to like the interior defensive lineman. I mean, I don't know what we're doing with Leonard Williams, right? We're going to just try to ask him to take a pay cut for this 1 year. We're going to try to extend him for a couple. I mean, all this stuff is going to start working its way out in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks or whatever. The picture will start coming a little bit clearer. But what are we going to do as a Leonard Williams? We're going to try to extend his contract because he's making like $32 million this year, right? We're going to ask him just to take a pay cut. We're going to try to extend him for a couple of years because he's played, but he's not that old, right? Ask him, extend him for a couple of years, and then maybe try to take his cap hit from this year and bring it way down to save the Giants a little bit more money. But even we have Sexy Dexy and we have Leonard Williams. After that, I mean, we got DJ Davidson, okay? But, I mean, he's not like much of he's maybe more of a run stopper, okay? Which is fine, but you're not going to get much pass protection from him, a pass rush from him, all right? But, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's a big drop off in talent. I mean, you look at the Eagles. As I said, they just got guys coming in out of the stands that can just run out onto the field and just rush the quarterback. And, I mean, they got a ton of guys. But I'm saying, so if Dexter Lawrence has to go off because he's a little tired, he needs a little bit of a break. It's a long drive and he has to come off for a couple plays. I mean, the drop off in talent is huge. I mean, the Giants, could use some good quality depth there too. And as I said, I don't know what they plan on doing with Leonard Williams. Are they looking for somebody to replace him, right? And I said, and then you go to the edge rushers. I mean, you got, I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, Ellerson Smith, I don't know if the guy can even stay healthy. I don't know if the guy can even stay on the field, right? Oshane Ximines, we're going to be bringing him back. Hottie War, what are we doing with him? Toman Fox, but I mean, it's like, it's a nice size drop off. You got Azeez and you got Kayvon, but you can never, ever have too many edge rushers. So if the Giants, like in the first round or whatever, in the second round, they're getting ready to pick and you're like, oh, we didn't take a wide receiver in the first round. You're like, all right, Giants taking a wide receiver here, baby. Bet on it. If there's a good edge rusher there or something like that, they might take the edge rusher. You can never, ever have too many good edge rushers. I mean, just look at, I said, once again, look with the Eagles, right? And can Azeez stay healthy, right? I mean, because if you got Kayvon, I'm sure he'll work on his craft and get a little bit better next year and then maybe the year after that and all. But, I mean, if you just got him, right, you can maybe slide the protection his way a little more if Azeez isn't on the field. I mean, if we got a healthy Azeez and a healthy Kayvon, okay. but they don't play every snap. I mean, you want to have somebody else in there that can take up some extra reps too. So as I said, if the Giants, I don't know, as I said, take a cornerback in the first round. Now it's the second round. There's some good wide receivers there. And you're like, all right, which wide receiver are we taking here in the second round? Then the Giants go off the board and they take whatever. And they take an edge rusher from Tulsa. You're like, what the hell was that? What do we do? You know what I mean? Don't be surprised. I mean, as I said, that's all. That's from an old school theory, but it still works today. That may not be a Shane theory or a Dable theory or whatever, but you can never have too many edge rushers. I mean, look what it did for the Giants when they won the third and fourth Super Bowls. Well, actually, the fourth Super Bowl they won, they only had 2 sacks, and they were both by Justin Tuck. But in their third Super Bowl, when they had 5 sacks, okay. But had a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Actually, I mean, in the 2011, when they beat the Patriots, but their pass rush was not a thing of beauty. Justin Tuck had 1 sack, and then I think like the third to last play of the game, I think it was, Justin Tuck got his 2nd sack of the game. That's why Justin Tuck is in the I guess the Super Bowl record books or whatever. I believe he still is the only player in Super Bowl history to have multiple sacks in multiple Super Bowls. He had 2 sacks, I think, in the 2007 Super Bowl, and he had 2 sacks in the 2011 Super Bowl. But his 2nd sack in the 2011 Super Bowl was like the third to last play of the game. Second to last, third to last play, whatever it was like in the last minute of the game. He just so. But I mean, you need to get some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, if you can't, I mean, Jalen Hurts ain't going nowhere. I mean, if you can't get pressure on that guy, you can just let him stand back there. I mean, either let him stand, but he's not the most accurate quarterback or whatever, but he's got some good wide receivers to throw to. And then if you can't get pressure on him, if he stands back there, man, nobody's open. I'm just going to run, So, I mean, the Giants need, pretty much, I mean, except for maybe tackles, I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe some, if you're going to get a good quality depth or something behind the tackle, but I mean, the Giants need everywhere. Even if they re-sign Daniel Jones, they might have Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones this year, but they're going to need, if they're going to let Tyrod Taylor go, okay, and let him go in free agency, after this year, after next year, shall I say. They need somebody, they want to groom somebody, not groom to take over for Daniel Jones, but I mean, to be a backup quarterback, right? So, I mean, the Giants need everywhere, every position, pretty much, maybe except for tackle. So, they got a lot of holes to fill. They have holes to fill on the starting teams, right? And they got holes to fill as far as good quality depth. So, once again, this is it's a project. It's a project. It's not okay. This is Shane's 2nd season. All right, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Right? We got 11 draft picks and we got some cap. We're going. It's a building product, and every year, it'll never be a finished product. But I mean, this is far from finished. I mean, they got to start bringing in some more of their own guys. And as I said, we have some holes to fill in the depth department and also in the regular rotation. So the Giants can pretty much go everywhere. I mean, obviously there's some big spots. I mean, interior offensive lineman, right? Wide receiver, whatever you want to call it, inside linebackers, middle linebacker, whatever you want to call them, right? They need those big time, as I said, free agency, I think it's March 15th. So there's it's the 4th, tomorrow will be the 4th. There's 24 more days. So we got about 39, 40 days. So it's about a little less than 6 weeks, 5.5 weeks or so, and free agency will start. So free agency frenzy will start. But hopefully between now and then, the Giants will start checking off a few of these boxes. Okay, we signed Julian Love. Boom. Now we got Xavier McKinney and Julian Love. I'm just throwing, okay, now we franchise tag, or we came to agreement with Saquon Barkley. Okay. Breeder's gone. We got Brightwell. We got Barkley. Maybe we'll draft a running back in the 5th or 6th round or something like that. You can always get a running back in the 5th, So as the weeks go by, some of these, the boxes will be checked as far as which direction we're going on and everything. But the Giants need, pretty much everywhere, everywhere. So they can go anywhere, free agency or in the draft. They can go pretty much anywhere. But all right, guys, it's been 44, almost 40, 45 minutes. Just shoot my mouth off here. Guys, hey, Ronnie, Micah, thank you so much, guys. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody instead of me just going like that, right, for 45 minutes. So it's nice to talk to somebody. Thank you for your comments. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Still got 2 people watching me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, guys. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.